Hey, what's up, guys? I'm back once again with another head scratching, mysterious tale of people mysteriously disappearing in our national parks and forests and in our urban and rural areas, and sometimes even in our backyard. Now, today, got another one for you as usual, and this one is about a guy named Knut, spelled Knut, Knut Thielemann. He went missing on 08/04/1995 in Athabasca Falls in Jasper, Alberta. He was 22 when he disappeared. He was like 6 feet, 154 pounds. Now, Thielemann was vacationing in the area of Athabasca Falls on the Athabasca River near Jasper, Alberta. On August 4th, 1995, he was walking somewhere near the falls and he disappeared. Or vanished is what I like to say, because that's more pretty much what happened. He vanished. Now, the Athabasca River starts in the Rockies and flows east through Hinton towards Edson. The falls are approximately 80 feet high and have a beautiful backdrop against the huge mountains of the Rockies. The falls are not known for their height, as it's the sheer volume of water that flows through the pass that makes it gorgeous to view. Now, the waterfalls itself is considered a Class 5 because of its height and associated danger. Knut is still listed in Canada as a missing person. Now, just like I say in all my other videos about people who just seem, they just vanish without a trace. I mean, they already know where they're going, and they know what they was out there to do. But when they get out there, they walk to a certain area and they just vanish into thin air. The worst part about this whole situation is that even though they know where they're going, they don't know what happens to them when they're trying to get from point A to point B. That is probably the worst part about this. And what makes all these cases so ominous is that they just vanish. They go into an area where there's a lot of trees, and there's a big river, there's wildlife everywhere, and it's a beautiful setting for the ones that love that kind of outdoorsy stuff. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that the wilderness, the outdoors, and all that stuff isn't beautiful. I mean, I do like nature. I really do. But I don't like it enough to go out there and camp and hike and all other kinds of stuff. This is before I even knew that people were vanishing into thin air national parks. Now, with his case, it was just a regular average. It was a regular average day for him. He wanted to, do what he did, and he went out there to do it. And somewhere along the line, he didn't even realize what was going to happen to him at that point, because he probably was doing that all his life, or not even all his life, but maybe for years. But he didn't know the death he died, or he didn't know what was going to happen to him. That he just seemingly just vanished, or walked into some sort of void that led him to a world that he couldn't come back from. So it's the strangest thing, I mean, these people are innocent, when it comes to these things. Everybody's innocent because they didn't know what was going to happen to them. They didn't see anything, they didn't smell anything, they didn't hear anything. Now, if he heard anything, it was just nothing but silence. There was no birds chirping, no nothing, no animals making noises, none of that. It was just dead. It was like a dead silence. And then all of a sudden, poof, he gone. And the man was on vacation by himself. Now, I go on vacation by myself as well, but I go to a place like Hawaii, where there's tons of people. Now, there has been maybe 1 or 2 disappearances, maybe 3. If you think about the Lay Lady, which is this young woman from back in the early 50s and 60s who was shunned. Well, she wasn't shunned, but her parents as well as her brothers didn't like the fact that she was dating someone from another island or from another village. He was on their territory, hunting, you know. And long story short, she married this man anyway. They eloped, and they found him and her somewhere on the island, and they beat the man to death. He dies, but right after he got her pregnant. So she was pregnant with his child. They had a little boy. One day she fell asleep. The little boy vanished without a trace. She never found him. She searched like constantly looking for her boy, but she died trying. Or at least that's what they think. Some of the villagers said that she drowned in the water on purpose, or she killed herself, or whatever the case may be. But all they know is that she was never seen again. But her ghost has been known to haunt the island. So obviously at some point she did die. I don't know what happened to her. I just know that first her son vanished without a trace, and then she just, walked away and just never returned, So that's another case right there, about somebody that missing. And the boy was 2 years old, I think. Well, actually, I honestly don't know how old the boy was. He was very young, so he might have been 2, or because he wasn't a couple months, that he would have been walking around the way he was. And she fell asleep, and when she woke up, he was gone. Now, if anything, the family or the people of the island probably sacrificed him because of her, infidelity. Well, it wasn't infidelity because she wasn't with anybody. She was just with him. But for the fact that she was in a forbidden marriage, maybe they took the baby and sacrificed him and just never told her what they did. I don't know. I don't know the full story. I just know that they call her the lay lady and she haunts the island. But anyway, like I said, that's a story about someone disappearing right there without a trace. But as far as this guy here, Knut Thielemann, like I said, he was vacationing, he was walking towards a waterfall, and poof. I mean, obviously, there was some sort of energetic doorway that he couldn't see, or a vortex, or a portal, and he walked right into it. You didn't see it. Now, I would think that if there was something in front of you that you couldn't see, there would at least be a sign of something, like maybe some, like time and space was like all wavy, it didn't look like anything. It just looked like regular scenery, but there was like a wave of energy just circulating around him or in front of him, and it just looked like the view in front of him was all wavy, like like how when you start a fire and the fumes, when they're shooting up into the air, you see this little, like if you look at the area behind the flame, it kind of looks wavy, like something that you could tell that there was something in front of it, and it was actually distorting space and time. I never could figure out how it does that or why it does that. So I just know it does. When you look at a flame and you see it even in movies where it distorts the view in front of you. I don't know why it does that. I would have to find out the science portion of that ordeal. But anyway. But yeah, that's all I got on that story. It was pretty short because the only thing they knew about was the fact that he went into the area to go on vacation, and that was the last time anyone ever saw him. And also, like I said before, that's probably the worst part about all of this. These people, they just walk into oblivion. According to us, whatever happened to this person, he's probably somewhere on another planet, somewhere in another dimension, or somewhere in another reality. I don't know, but hopefully he's still alive. They never found him. They never found none of his stuff. They didn't mention that part either. It's probably in his report, I guess, maybe. But I would have to, or David Paulides would have to file a FOA, which is a Freedom of Information Act. So, it is what it is. So. Oh yeah, and by the way, I'm in the process of trying to order another book of David Paulides. This one is called A Sobering Coincidence, and that has more detailed stories from these cases, where they are a little bit more stranger than this book, because it talks about all the stuff I talked about before, how the clothing on the body is always either off and folded somewhere or what. I mean, obviously, that's one of the cases where when the bodies were found, they found in their underwear, but their clothes would be neatly folded somewhere near them or close to them, and their shoes would be sitting on top of a log. It's just a lot of weird, quirks in these cases where the evidence is just so weird that we just can't seem to figure out what's doing it and why they're doing it. Why would someone take the time out to fold up the clothes and place them somewhere neatly and put the shoes on top of the clothes? And then, of course, there's the part where they leave bone fragments everywhere with no blood in sight, no skin, no tissue, no muscle, none of that. And yet you'll find one lone tooth sitting on top of a log like it was purposely put there. Just to throw us off the track. To throw us off the track. So, like I said, it is what it is. Hopefully one day we will figure this out. And I would gladly be one of them that would actually want to hear what this really is. I mean, I got a pretty good theory on what it could be, but everybody, like I said, is always looking for facts. Sometimes facts doesn't solve anything. It gives you ideas of what this thing may be, but it doesn't explain what it is. And the only ones that know what this is this thing that's doing it. So yeah. I made a comment about something a while ago about it was a quote or a saying that someone had said about these cases, and he said something about whatever this is some type of overreaching intelligence. I think it was a man named Richard Dolan. I didn't know his name. I forgot I forgot, but I couldn't get the word out. I couldn't get the name out of my mouth. I kind of did forget a little bit, but excuse me. Oh wow. Oh, excuse me, guys. Sorry about that. But his name is Richard Dolan, and he made that comment about whatever this is some sort of overreaching intelligence, and even if we were to find out what it is, if this thing was to ever explain who it is to them, he probably still wouldn't understand what it was all about, because they were on a different level than he is. I still haven't found out what these creatures are that I heard about. That it was one of my viewers I told you about. He said something about it was these creatures or beings that actually inhabited the earth thousands of years before humans were ever even thought of at that point. That is actually doing this, because I've heard about creatures like that can actually take over your mind and make you do whatever they want. It's weird, and it's almost like a possession, but they either jump inside your body or they get inside your mind and make you say and do things that you wouldn't normally say. So I'm still trying to figure out the name of those creatures. So they look hairy and they stand upright like a human. So, but I will try to my best to get that information. I did see a show about this a couple of days ago, last week, but I couldn't remember the name of the beings that they were talking about. So if it comes on again, I will definitely post that or mention it in one of my next videos. So gotta go. As you can see, I'm real sleepy because I got off of work at 11 o'clock, but I've been up ever since. So and I gotta go in again today. Like I said, this is my 7-day work week. So I got yesterday and my off day today, and I'll still be working until next week, all up until my day off. And I'm not gonna do it then. I'm probably gonna take Tuesday off if I can. So then I'll have more time to make more videos. But I gotta go. I need to get me some sleep. I want to thank you guys once again for watching my videos. Okay, hit me with the thumbs up and subscribe, and leave me a comment down below as usual. If you like it, I'll be glad to post more videos. And I want to thank all of my viewers from the bottom of my heart for subscribing to my page. Because you guys are very important to me, and what I'm doing is very important. So I will keep up the good work and make sure I post videos on what's going on out here and keep you guys, up, up to speed with knowledge on what this is all about, and well, just basically, posting videos about the cases and these stories that surround the cases. So, without further ado, aloha, mahalo, and hui ho. Peace out, guys. Peace out.